Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guruhu Upayaha. On the spiritual path, the Guru is Upaya. Upaya means the one who leads you closer to the reality. Now see, if a Guru is the one who leads you closer to the reality, what does it mean? It means he will not encourage or promote the disciple to get lost in the worldly achievements. And therefore, if we are really sincere disciples or students, our attempt will never be fulfilling our desires as means of spiritual practice. No. Spiritual practice is not meant for that. So what does the Guru teaches? See, the Guru teaches Matruka Chakra Sambodhaha. Matruka Chakra Sambodha is one of the most deep and important aspect of our spiritual practice. See, like the cells get divided of their own. There is nobody who is dividing the cells. So the first cell becomes divided into two. Then these two cells again get divided into two. Then these four cells again divided into two. In this way, there is expansion through division. First, exactly the same way, the pure conscious self, the absolute reality, gets divided into subject-object. Dichotomization of consciousness leads to a phenomena called as subject-object. Objects are form-oriented and the subject is the sound-oriented. See, all the objects that we see in this world, that we experience in this world, they are form-oriented. If there is no form, there is no world. See? So, objects are the world. Now the second thing. The subject, how does he come in contact with the world? He comes in contact with the world through the names. So, every experience is divided, dichotomized into two aspects. Objective aspect, which is forms, shapes, and subjective aspect, which is names. See, name and form. The name is called as Vachaka, the indicator. When I say a flower, immediately the object appears in our mind. What is the meaning of flower? Because we know that this object is called as flower. And we are trained right from childhood how to associate the names and the forms. Right from childhood. Now, for example, if you take a Chinese child, that Chinese child is told in their language, and if he takes the same object, and if he is asked what is the name of this object, he will tell in Chinese. If you tell him the name of the same object in, let us take Sanskrit, he will not understand. Because association between name and the form is established as evolution of an individual. So, in short, The world is nothing but an interaction between the subject and object. And if there is no subject, object has no existence. And if there is no object, subject has no existence. So, what exists thereafter? That which was divided into subject-object. It is something like this, If colors and forms are not there, vision has no existence. If vision is not there, colors and forms are not existence. Then what exists? That one, that mind, which itself has manifested as first subjectively as a vision, objectively as the forms. Get these points, very subtle. It is the whole process of grossification. So pure absolute consciousness, conscious existence, we are adding the word absolute. We are not talking about a relative consciousness. When we talk about consciousness, there is inertness. We are not talking about that. Absolute consciousness. So this absolute consciousness, when becomes grossified, it is called as mind. When the mind becomes grossified, it is called as sense organs. When a sense organs become grossified, they are called as the sense objects. So one pure, absolute, non-dual reality alone through a process of grossification has become subjective and objective dichotomy. See? And this is how there is evolution. So this process of evolution is called as Matruka Chakra Sambodha. Sambodha, the experience. The perfect experience. So what the Guru does? The Guru helps us to discover this pure, absolute, non-dual consciousness from where the whole world has emerged. Be attentive. And with this understanding and experience, when we come to know that this whole world is nothing but my own expanse. Now take an example. My child is nothing but my own expansion. So what is our relation with our child? We love that child, we take care of that child. Because the child is nothing but my own expansion. When a master comes to know that this whole world is nothing but his own expanse, Yasmin sarvani bhutani atma eva abhut vijanataha tatra ko mohaka shokaha ekatvam anupashyataha. Ishavasya Upanishad says, when a seeker comes to know that this whole world is my own expansion, how can there be any greed or grief or misery or hatred for anybody in this world? See, friends. Therefore, unless we migrate from the gross and come to the subtler than the subtlest, gross is the effect, subtle is the cause. Cause is unknown, effect is known. See? When somebody is ill, we don't know the cause. Illness is an effect. From that illness, we proceed to investigate what is the cause. In the same manner, the effects are gross, cause is subtle. So this whole world is nothing but a matrix of cause and effect. So till such time we remain caught up in the cause and effect, we are in the relative world. So when the cause and effects are transcended by merging the gross in the subtle, see? Merge the waves in the ocean and the ocean in the waters. Then water you can't merge in anything. So what is water? Water is beyond the waves and the ocean. And what are the waves and the ocean? Waves are the effect and ocean is the cause. So the water is beyond cause and effect. This is Matruka Chakra Sambodha. We transcend the limitations of cause and effect. And for that, proper understanding is required. The supreme reality called as Param Shiva is referred as Shiva with his inherent potentiality. That inherent potentiality is called as Anuttara Shakti. Anuttara means this is the ultimate infinite potentiality of the divine self. Uttara means above. Anuttara means there is nothing beyond it. So this is the ultimate potentiality of the reality, and this is called as Chit. Now be attentive. Absolute reality is referred as Sat, S-A-T, Sat, for our understanding. The truth is beyond Sat and Asat. For our understanding, absolute reality is called as Sat. Now this Sat has this Anuttara Shakti, the infinite potentiality called as the consciousness or the Chit. This Chit is referred by the letter in the Sanskrit as A. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Aksharanam akarosmi. From the A alone, the whole language comes out. This is the meaning of Om. When we chant A, no efforts are required. Simply blow the air out of your vocal cords and no effort. If you have to say Ma, efforts are required. Try to keep the your lips apart and try to say Ma, you cannot. Efforts are required. So effortless sound is the first sound, and that is this is the first expression of this consciousness as its own potentiality, Anuttara Shakti. And this Shakti, this potentiality, the first potentiality is manifesting as expansion, therefore A. So A is the Ananda. This is how the whole thing is there. Sat is the absolute conscious reality. The consciousness is its first potentiality, original potentiality, called as Anuttara Shakti. And this Anuttara Shakti expands as Ananda. This is the Satchidananda. See? Therefore, this Anuttara Shakti is the one. Then the subsequent Shaktis are Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. Three of them. Now each one of them we understand. This first vowel of the Sanskrit language is A, and this first vowel of the Sanskrit language A is further expanded as expansion and becomes A, so that these A and A are further elaborated by another powers called as the Ichha Shakti. So A is the original potentiality, A is Ananda, then E, you know the Sanskrit vowels, A, E, Ru, Lu, A, I, O, A. How these expand? This is the science. See friend, this you don't get in any language. See, P-U-T put, B-U-T put. No logic, no reason, no meaning. See? But here everything is so methodically, scientifically proved. Each and every letter has its place. It is not randomly thrown words. So, this Ichha Shakti, that power of desire, is expressing as E. In English we can say I. See? So, kiss, K-I, E. So, when it is generalized, it is E. When it is specific Ichha, desire, it is E. So, A, E, Ichha. Then there is a Jnana Shakti. Jnana Shakti is U, general knowledge. Knowledge that things are. Specific knowledge, this is a mic going to the amplification. This is the mic going to for the recording. Specific knowledge. See? So, Anuttara Shakti, Ichha Shakti, then Jnana Shakti, E, U, and thereafter Ru, Lu, Lu, they are the combination with these two, and they are called as the Kriya Shakti. So, A, E, U, then A, I, O, that becomes the Kriya Shakti, the potentiality to act. Thus, there are 5 of them. First is the Chit Shakti, second is Ananda Shakti, third is the Ichha Shakti, fourth is the Jnana Shakti, and fifth is the Kriya Shakti. With these 5 potentialities, there is evolution of sound with meaning and power. See, various mantras, where from they get the various powers? See? There was one Mahatma, I read and saw some videos about him, very peculiar, that when he used to be there anywhere, lots and lots cobras will come in his room from nowhere, and all the cobras will stay with him, and he is sleeping and all on his bed, everywhere cobras. Not one, dozens of them, wherever he goes and stays. And then he used to talk to them, only through the mantra Shakti. See? Because there is tremendous potentiality in the Shakti. That is why, in the Mantra Shastra, Tantra Shastra, they simply say something and it happens because they have invoked that potentiality, goddess associated with that Shakti. So in this manner, all the powers are contained in the words. Now, when we are chanting the mantra, what happens in this mantra chanting? We are slowly discarding the object like Ram, Ram. So, Rama, the moment we say Rama, Bhagwan Rama comes in front of our eyes. When we say Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva comes in front of our eyes. So, drop that object, come to the sound. Om Namah Shivaya. Between the two, select only one. Many seekers get lost in this. They try to see also Shiva and they try to chant also, and there is only a mess. So the forms are outside, the sound is within you. So when you close your eyes and chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. Now you are concerned only with the sound, not with the meaning of the sound. So, then you start observing where from the sound begins. It is here in our Anahata Chakra. The life starts manifesting as consciousness. It is here. Therefore, all of us unknowingly know this. And when I had to say, when I am telling you, that time we don't say when I am telling you. We don't get the feeling of I here. We get the feeling of I here. I am telling you. And when we say I am telling you, we don't use this finger. I am telling you. We use this finger, Tarjani. This is where the I is. Therefore, when we want to threaten somebody, we use this finger. Be careful. We don't say, be careful. Try to say, be careful. They say, okay, go. It will not happen. See, friends, therefore, this sound begins in life in this Anahat Chakra. Om. By proper practice and with intense awareness, when we practice, then from the objects, forms we have withdrawn, we have come to the names of the forms, and from the names we have come to the source of the sound. And when we come to the source of the sound, then we are nearest to the consciousness. So for the gross understanding, the source of the sound is silence. See, for a gross understanding, silence, yes. Now chant Om. After you chant, what remains? Silence. So first our understanding is sound begins from the silence and it ends in the silence. But here the error is, we are only talking about the manifestation and unmanifestation of the sound. We are not going beyond the sound. Like, rich man, man with money, rich man. Poor man, man with less money, poor man. In both the cases, we are talking about money. Indian, American. In both the cases, we are talking about citizenship. We are not gone beyond the countries. Think. And therefore, first we give importance to the silence in our mantra sadhana. So first, Om, Om, Om. So, first with the Vaikhari Vani, and when Vaikhari Vani is purified, which is the Kriya Shakti. Vaikhari Vani is Kriya Shakti. Then we come to the Madhyama Vani, Jnana Shakti. When we migrate from the Vaikhari Vani to the Madhyama Vani, then the japa is happening in the mind. Just to make you understand, I am chanting, but this goes within the mind. It is not heard by others. Parashruti gochara it is not. So, Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Be attentive. When we are randomly chanting Hari Om, their effort and I is born. I am doing the japa. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. And if there is some disturbance, we get irritated. Now we have to go beyond that. So the technique great teachers have told is synchronize your chanting of the mantra with the breathing. Be very attentive. Breathing cannot be done yesterday or tomorrow. Breathing is done not even today. Breathing is done now. So that is Kriya Shakti. Now with that breathing, we synchronize the Mantra Shakti, Jnana Shakti. So breathe in, Hari. Breathe out, Om. In your own mind. Just try for 3-4 times. When you breathe in, Hari. When you breathe out, Om. So the breathing is happening, breathing is not done. And with that, non-doing, therefore no doer. And in that, when we synchronize the mantra, then in that mantra chanting, there is no effort and there is no I involved. See? And as a result, when the Kriya Shakti and Jnana Shakti unites, be attentive. Vaikhari Vani is Kriya Shakti, the power of dynamism. The Madhyama Vani is Jnana Shakti, the power of knowledge, energy of knowledge. Now these two merge together and they come in Pashyanti Vani. Pashyanti Vani is Ichha Shakti. See? So, Kriya Shakti, Vaikhari Vani, identification with the gross body, the waking world. Jnana Shakti, Madhyama Vani, the dream world, where everything is only thoughts. Then Pashyanti Vani, where there is no differentiation between knowledge and the Kriya. The thought and the object, they are not separate. All the great masters live in this Pashyanti Vani. And when the seeker reaches the Pashyanti Vani, where thought and objects, means the name and the form are not separate. And here all the siddhis are manifested. All the siddhis. They say something, it happens. See, it is not a magic. And here many people get caught up and lost. They are constantly in terms of objectification. Do good to this thing, I should do this thing, I should do that thing, bless somebody, curse somebody. And by that we, instead of merging in the absolute, we again come out and again get lost in this world. Therefore, Matruka Chakra Sambodha is this. When you are chanting, come to know that you are slowly migrating from the effect to the cause, gross to the subtle, and ultimately beyond gross and subtle, beyond the effect and the cause, and come to the causeless existence. This causeless existence is our essential nature. Therefore, there is no cause, there is no effect, we have dropped the intellect. Intellect dies when there is no cause, no effect. See, we don't ask why the fire is hot. Therefore, with reference to fire, we are not worried. Why fire is hot? Then we know, we accept the fire is hot, yes. Now decide how to deal with the fire. There is no cause and effect. Exactly the same way, our essential nature is beyond cause and effect. Then how to reach the cause and effect? Drop the intellect. When we drop the intellect, the mind merges in the consciousness. Like the ice cube dissolving in the ocean. When the ice cube dissolves in the ocean, there is no noise, there is no effort, it takes its own time, and once the ice cube merges in the ocean, the same ice cube never comes out again. There may be ice cubes coming out because of the temperature change. It is not the same ice cube which has gone has come out, no. In the same manner, when the seeker has dissolved his I, this I is associated with the sound. Therefore, this I is called as Aham Vimarsha. And the world is called as Idam Vimarsha. So, this whole world is dependent on Aham. And what is this Aham? Aham begins from A in the alphabets, and the last letter in the alphabets is H. 50 of them. So, Aham. The whole world of names and forms and all the sounds starting from A to H, everything is included in this Aham. See, this is the meaning of Aham used by Bhagavan Krishna in Bhagavad Gita when he says, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina mastani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu avasthita nacha mastani bhutani pashyami yogameshwaram bhuta bhrunnaja bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavana. I, the formless, permeate all the forms. Now see, when I say I, now what is my shape? What is my form? What is my size? Nothing. See, I has no shape, no form, no size, no gender, and no plural. See, second person, thou, plural you, continues to be second person. Third person singular, he, she, it. Plural they, continues to be the third person. What is the plural of I, the first person singular? Is we. We includes the second and the third person. So this I essentially does not have plural. Because I is only one. See, he is limited to the man. She is limited to the woman. The masculine pronoun and the feminine pronoun. But I doesn't have gender. That which is beyond the differences is the substratum of this whole world. This meaning of I is called as Matruka Chakra Sambodha. See, friends. Therefore, when we study deeply, there is no hurry. Like the eyes have three aspects. One is structural eye, second is functional eye, and third is the seer eye. Three. Structural eye is Adi Bhautik, functional eye is Adi Daivik, and the subjective eye, seer, is Adhyatmik. So this functional aspect is called as the goddesses. God means Dyotana Devaha, the one who illuminates. So the functionality of every instrument is called as the potentiality or the goddess. And for everything in this world, these are the three aspects. See? This deep understanding is called as Matruka Chakra Sambodha. And therefore in Hinduism, trees are gods, stones are gods. Because in everything there is this divinity unmanifest. The same unmanifest divinity can be invoked by proper upasana or proper practice. See, there is nothing dead in this world. Everything is the same consciousness. The difference is, in some instrument, consciousness cannot manifest as life. In other instruments, consciousness can manifest as life. It is the difference on account of the instruments through which it is expressing. It is not in the consciousness. It is something like electrical energy expressing through two bulbs. One is fused, other is not fused. So through the bulb which is not fused, light will come out. In the other bulb, light will not come out. That doesn't mean there is no electricity. In the same manner, in the stones and the bricks, life is dormant. It is not manifested. It can be manifested. See, there is a story event in the life of Santa Gyaneshwar. This great yogi, his name was Changdev Maharaj, and when he came riding over a tiger, all the wild animals and his disciples along with him, taking the cobra as the snake to show his powers and prowess, he came to meet this young child in his teenage. See? That time it is said that these four brothers and sisters, Nivrutti, Jnanadev, Sopan and Muktabai, four of them, they were sitting on a wall, mud wall, in the morning, and they were doing brush, early morning. And when they are told that such and such great master is coming, so, we have to go and receive him, he is such a great master. Then they were told, he is coming riding on a tiger and all that paraphernalia. He is a great yogi. Oh, he is a great yogi. Oh God, we have to go and receive him. So Santa Gyaneshwar tells that dead mud wall, let's move. And the dead mud wall moves to receive the yogi. And his all arrogance of control over life is completely gone. See? So he was able to invoke by his mantra shakti the dormant life in the wall. See, friends, another event comes when he was being examined. Your name is so and so, and that buffalo which is carrying the water, his name is also same. You know, in India, animals are named. They are not numbered. Numbering is in the Western world. Even the songs are numbered. Here our arti is, Om Jai Jagdish Hare, let us chant. So the name is given, not numbers. So when he was told that your name is Jnaneshwar and that buffalo which is carrying the waters, his name is also Jnaneshwar. What is the difference between two of you? You are the same? He said, yes, we are the same. Then what you chant, can he chant Purusha Sukta? He said, yes, he can. And by his willpower, this willpower. So by his Ichha Shakti, he made the buffalo chant this Purusha Sukta. It is possible. See, friends, because they have caught the meaning of these goddesses or the Adhidaivik Shakti in them. See, friends, therefore, when we are chanting the mantra, first sounds, then silence, then going beyond sound and silence. Give it a try. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. So we are playing with sound and silence. When we go beyond it, then neither the sounds matter nor the silence matters. Such a person remains at peace, at home, under every condition. Like the space is at home, whether it's an inferno burning or it's tsunami or there is a hurricane. Space remains undisturbed. Like the water remains undisturbed. Let it be ocean, let it be the waves. The water is not afraid of getting drowned in the ocean, and water is not afraid of getting broken into pieces when the wave breaks. Because water has risen above the waves and the ocean. This is the understanding of mantra. Matruka Chakra Sambodha. If this is not understood, we are only mechanically chanting. Andhe naiva niyamana yathandha. Upanishad says, a blind leading the blind. See? Then in that case, we simply are told, if you do this mantra for so many million times, it will happen. One of my friend, name I will not tell you, he has been doing this upasana and he has done everything very methodically with Hom, Havan and Swaha 100 times, 100 times, 100 million times, so many mantras. He spent 7-8 years on that. And we have taken Diksha from the same Mahatma for the, Shri Chakra, Shri Vidya. And my friend told me, you have to do this thing, Swamiji, now. I said, I will not listen to you. I will ask Mahatma Ji directly. And that Mahatma was very old, 98. So, I asked him through somebody, because language was a barrier. He had no teeth in the mouth, he could not talk properly, and what he talks I don't understand, language barrier. So through a proper interpreter, I spoke to him. I said, Mahatma Ji, please tell me what are the rules and regulations I have to follow to this mantra sadhana. He said, nothing, you don't have to do anything. He said, I feel honored that I could give you Diksha. I said, no, but my friend told me he is doing so much, I have to do. No, let him do. He deserves that, not you. So my friend said, why this is so? And after doing it for years together, he still has only one question. When will I get realized? When will I get realized? What I have to do? I said, my friend, this is the biggest problem with you. You are doing something, don't do. Even meditation, don't do. Remain effortless. The more effortless we are in meditation. Our whole life is a struggle. And in the struggle, we are trying to prove something to somebody. See, or we try to justify. Both these things, trying to prove something and trying to justify something, is an expression of a strong I. Till such time this I is there, keep on struggling, nothing will happen. And all this can be discovered only by inquiry. See, like when we go to sleep, what is the last thing that we drop? The last thing we drop is, I want to sleep. From this mantra, I and the want is dropped. When the I and the want is dropped, sleep begins. So what is all the spiritual practice? This I. We use the word I frequently, elaborately, distinctly, without knowing the meaning of I. And therefore we suffer. This Matruka Chakra Sambodha brings us back to the real meaning of I, what we are. See? Panchadashi tells, Dhyatru dhyane parityajya dheyamevavashishyate. When the meditator and the process of meditation is dropped, what remains is the Paramatma. Like when I who wants to sleep, when the I and the want is dropped, sleep remains. This spiritual life is not a mechanical one. We have to live 24/7 in extreme alert awareness. This is what I have been telling you. Before we talk to anybody, get involved with anything, ask a question. Is it necessary? See, we are all the victims of our own obsessions. We are all the victims of our own old habits. These old habits we have to drop. We have got two natures. One is the essential nature, which is divine. Essentially we are all divine. Second is acquired nature. This acquired nature we have gathered. Like, smoking is acquired nature. Anger is acquired nature. Greed is acquired nature. See, competition is acquired nature. See, there was one beautiful thing. These spastic children, differently challenged children, their race was there, 100-meter race. Who wins? So all of them with all the abnormalities, when they were running in their own way, one of them fell down. So the other person came and helped him. Third came. And all of them came together and they decided, let us win it together. How beautiful it is. There is no competition. I want to win over you. See? But our life is only this. I versus you. I want to prove that I am better than you. I want to prove that I am intelligent than you. Friends, this I is the basic factor. This has to be dissolved. See, like the ice cube is not an object, it is essentially water, acquired shape, name and form. In the same manner, essentially we are divine. Acquired, we are man, woman, young, old, rich, poor, Indian, non-Indian. This acquired nature is a burden that we carry in our life. Let our essential nature manifest in life. And our essential nature is bliss. Therefore, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma na shochati na kankshati samaha sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labate param. Therefore, the highest spiritual practice is Prasannatma, remain ever cheerful. And what is the meaning of remaining cheerful? Number one, living at zero complaint level. You are in meditation. We complain about meditation itself. Look here. The height of foolishness. Now, whenever I sit for meditation, there are too many bad thoughts. So when you are complaining about meditation, you are totally destroyed the very process of meditation. Live at zero complaint level. No complaint about things, beings around us. Things are like that. It is like that. Yes, go ahead. One. Second thing, remaining cheerful and happy, let us not be obsessed. We are obsessed with small little things. See? We imagine whatever I say, whatever I decide, that alone is right. No, it is wrong. See, the same thing can be done dozen different ways. See, friends, it is something like this. What I am telling you is the Matruka Chakra Sambodha, meaning, what is the meaning of realization? Don't have funny notion about realization. One example will make it clear. In a school, the children were made to sit around clockwise from 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 1. Up to 1. Again, 12 to 11, so complete clock is there. And in the center, there were some few objects kept. A kettle, a cup, a flower pot, an apple, and a banana. And they were told, draw this drawing. So the children were looking at drawing. After it was over, then they were told, okay, now let us examine. And what the teacher said, give your paper for examination to the 12 o'clock student, give the paper to 3 o'clock student. 3 o'clock student, give the paper to the 6 o'clock student. 6 o'clock student, give the paper to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, give to 12 o'clock. In this way, shift. So they shifted all the papers. Then he said, now examine. So the children started, wrong. Come on, give me all the papers. So all the papers came. He said, now you have drawn, you have examined, I have not done anything. Now I read the result. 12 o'clock wrong, 1 o'clock wrong, 3 o'clock wrong, everybody wrong. Oh God, how it can be? He said, look here, I didn't do anything. You only did it. How can everybody be wrong? Oh, say, let me try. And then the teacher did it. And his evaluation, everybody is right. Now what was the difference? The difference was the children were obsessed with one particular angle. A student who is at 12 o'clock, he was never able to appreciate how the things look from 3 o'clock point. We are all like those students, obsessed. Whatever I say, that should happen. See, friends, give up this obsession. Then you are with the divine. See? How simple it is. But for us, spiritual practice is as if we are going to be hanged after some time. It is not that. It is not for only 10 minutes spirituality and rest of the time fighting with the world. No. Spiritual life is 24/7. See, we can't say half an hour I am healthy, rest of the time I am unhealthy. No. We have to be healthy 24/7. See, friends, this is the meaning of Matruka Chakra Sambodha. come to realize this. And when you come to this point, then your whole vision changes. And what was the vision of the student? Obsession. What was the vision of the teacher? Remaining in his own place, he was able to appreciate all the possible angles by which the things can be looked at. And therefore, from the teacher's point of view, nobody is wrong. And from the student's point of view, among themselves, everybody is wrong. See, friends, Matruka Chakra Sambodha. So the whole spiritual practice is only this. Start from the gross, come to the subtle. Leave the subtle, go to the super subtle. And come to a point where there is no further going. This is what Kathopanishad says. Indrebhya parahyartha arthebhyascha param manaha manasastu para buddhi buddheratma mahan paraha mahataha param avyaktam avyaktat purusha paraha purushanna param kinchit sa kashta sa paragati. So we start from the object, come to the senses, sense from the sense organs to the mind, from the mind to the individual intellect, from the individual intellect to the total intellect, from the total intellect to Paramatma. Beyond Paramatma there is nothing. Only Paramatma alone. This journey is called as Matruka Chakra Sambodha. And in this, nobody can help us. We have to walk our own journey. See? Now, in this whole process, if you look within, what has happened? You have not made any concept. This is not a conceptual understanding. If you make concept, the concept will change. Concepts are subject to change. See? Earlier concept was appendix should be removed. Now the concept is it should be brought back and fixed again. Earlier the concept was eating ghee was bad. Now the concept is eating ghee is good. They have no meaning. This is not a concept. In the temple I am Brahman, outside I am Brahma. No. The time-space object do not change our experience. This is what has to be reached through the mantra sadhana. Therefore, Chittam Mantraha, the first sutra of this section. With this deep understanding, when we chant, then alone the truth is revealed. This is called a Shaktopaya or the path of knowledge or inquiry. And it is possible for everyone. But those who are still, hanging up in the world, my husband is like that, my wife is like that, my children are like that, for them go to the tabla peti and finish it off. It is not for them. And those who cannot get attracted in this knowledge, understand very clearly, from the KG1 they have directly come to the doctorate class. And therefore they are not interested. It cannot interest any Tom, Dick and Harry. You have to be qualified. And then only you can have the stamina to remain with yourself. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.